Hey friends, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about brands, and specifically which brands I no longer buy to sell on Poshmark. Now, I came up with a list of quite a few. I have 15 brands that I used to sell in my Poshmark closet. I was scrolling through and just looking at some of my older sales last night and reminiscing, and I noticed there were a lot of brands that I now pass on in the thrift store, so I thought I would share with you what those brands are. Now, disclaimer, if you like selling any of the brands that I mentioned, if they sell well for you, if you still pick them up, definitely keep doing it. You want to do what works best for your business, and I know things sell differently for different people. So these are just things that I personally am no longer picking up, no longer selling, and I'll give you a little reasoning behind each one, but let's go ahead and get into the brands. Okay, I have my list of brands on my phone, and these are in no particular order, so we're gonna go through them one by one. And also, if you haven't noticed, Macon has joined us. He just decided he wanted to sit in my lap because it's raining outside and he hates the rain. So the first brand on the list is Tibby, and Tibby is a higher end luxury line, usually silk items, dresses, tops, pants, shorts, etc. And it's really bright and kind of preppy. Like, it's really popular in the South. I actually find it quite a bit at my thrift stores, especially this one like boutique type of thrift store that I go to. And in the beginning, I did used to pick it up, but I noticed it would sit forever. It would get a few likes here and there, but it would take forever to sell. And even though it was pretty expensive retail, like the dresses retail for over $300, I would be lucky if I could sell it for $30. So I have just decided that I am no longer gonna pick up Tibby, even though I think some of it is super cute and great prints, especially for the summer. I've just decided it is no longer for my closet. The next brand actually kind of goes along with Tibby. It is Trina Turk, and Trina Turk is another designer that makes really colorful items. So she does a lot of like resort type of stuff, dresses, shorts, tops, like pretty much everything, but really colorful, bold prints. And I used to pick up Trina Turk a lot as well because, again, it does retail for quite a bit. And she even did a line with Banana Republic at one point, so you might have seen some like Trina Turk for Banana Republic pieces. But again, those pieces would just sit for me. I don't know what it was. They would take forever to sell. There is one exception, and it is Trina Turk's swimwear. So her bathing suits, especially one pieces or even sometimes the two pieces, those sell really well. I think because they are so colorful, it's great for like the beach or whatnot. But the clothing I pretty much never pick up. In the swim I will pick up usually if it's a one piece, but occasionally a two piece. And then the third item, or the third brand on my list, is Millie. And Millie is, again, another higher end designer. A lot of these brands I knew from like when I worked at Nordstrom, or they're just popular like higher end Southern brands, and I just would know them from, being in fashion. But Millie was one I knew from Nordstrom that I knew sold pretty well. The dresses were really popular at the time. I worked at Nordstrom in like 2008, 2009. So yeah, when I was picking it up now, I just don't think it's as popular anymore. I would buy the dresses, I would buy some of the skirts, and they just sat for a really long time. I also think that Millie, the styling doesn't really go with my closet. It's a little bit more of a mature or career style sometimes, or like a dressier, preppier style, and that's definitely not the vibe of my closet. My closet's more casual, boho. So Millie I had a hard time selling, and I pretty much always pass on it now. This next brand I used to buy so much. I remember one time I bought 40 pairs of this brand of jeans at one store that was like doing a huge clearance, and that is Miss Me jeans. Yes, one time I listed 40 pairs like pretty much in one weekend, and they used to sell really well for me. Miss Me I could sell from $40 to $50. They retail for like $100 or more, and they used to go for even more than that, but then the resale value started declining. And even last year when I did a denim video, I was still saying, pick up Miss Me, I think they're doing well. But the last few pairs that I had took a really long time to sell, and I haven't bought any since then. I saw a pair at the thrift store the other day when I was sourcing, and I just like don't even look at them anymore because I feel like for me it's not worth it just to have those sitting in my closet. There's other denim brands that I would rather be selling. And if you want me to talk about denim brands and which ones I currently like, let me know down in the comment section below, because I could do a video about denim brands and trends. I think that would be good to do like an updated version. Okay, the next brand is a mall brand, and I have friends or other people I know that sell on Poshmark that can sell this brand so easily, but I cannot sell it to save my life, and it is White House Black Market. So White House Black Market is a mall store, it's a chain, it's all over, and I think it does have a good following. So one of my really good friends, she pretty much always picks up White House Black Market, and I tried it because I was like, oh, she's selling White House Black Market, I think I can sell it on Posh as well. So I picked up like a sequin dress, I had a sweater, and those items took months for me to sell. Again, I think for me, it just doesn't go with the rest of the stuff in my closet. I think I have really honed in and curated a brand for my closet and a style, and when I start mixing in these other things that don't really go with it, I think I have a much harder time selling them. So for me personally, I don't pick up White House Black Market at all at the thrift store. And then this is another one similar I used to sell all the time, and I see other people selling it a lot, and that is Vineyard Vines. So Vineyard Vines is a really preppy brand, and again, it's really popular in the South, I know in the Northeast, a bunch of places, and they have a lot of like their logo stuff that does really well. But for me, it would take a little bit longer to sell, and again, I just don't think it goes with the rest of the stuff I'm listing. I'm listing a lot of Free People and Anthropology and just really bohemian stuff, and here's this like preppy t-shirt with a whale on it, and I think it can kind of confuse the buyer sometimes. So I personally pass on Vineyard Vines in the thrift store. Okay, the next brand is an activewear line, and I really like selling activewear. I think it does really well, especially those unique pieces. And this brand I used to pick up because I thought the pieces were really pretty. You didn't see them around as much, and that is Kalia by Carrie Underwood. And Kalia is sold at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I think it's sold there exclusively, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I think the pieces are really pretty and they were good quality. A lot of them look similar to like Lululemon styles, but definitely more affordable. So when I would see it in the thrift store, I would pick it up, and this wasn't often. It was probably like a couple pieces a month or so, but I would always buy it, and I've stopped buying it because the last 2 pieces I bought took a long time to sell, and I just didn't see that much interest in them, so I no longer buy Kalia. The next brand actually goes with the vibe of my closet. You know, I always like a lot of the pieces when I see them in the thrift store, but they take forever to sell. As you notice with a lot of this stuff, it just takes a long time for it to sell, and I don't want to sit too long on stuff. So this brand is Altered State, and Altered State is a mall brand. They have those stores all over the country, and to me, it reminds me a lot of Free People, but it's a little bit, I don't know, the quality is a little bit lower, but the prices are still really expensive retail. So I used to pick it up because I knew it cost a lot if people were to go to the mall and buy it, so I thought they would be seeking it out on Poshmark. And I've sold a couple of really unique pieces quickly, but overall, a majority of the pieces sit for a long time. So I would rather sell like a Free People, an Anthropology, Show Me Your Moo, those type of boho items or brands versus Altered State. So I always pass on Altered State, even if it's something super cute. Some of these brands, like maybe I would make an exception, but Altered State, no, not at all. And then Bowden is another one. So Bowden is my next brand, and I have sold a lot of Bowden. I remember one time I was at a thrift store and some lady must have donated like 10 Bowden dresses, and I bought them all and I was super excited, and they all sold in a decent amount of time. This was probably like 2 years ago. And I would pick up the Bowden tops, and I just, you know, would pick up pretty much any Bowden that I saw, and it sold decent on Posh, but I have noticed a decline, and the last few pieces just, you know, again, sat for me. It doesn't go with the look of my closet. So personally, Bowden, I pass on. Okay, the next brand I see at quite a few boutiques when I'm out just like looking at regular stores to see what they have, and I know they sometimes sell it at like Urban Outfitters, and the brand is Mink Pink. And Mink Pink is a contemporary designer line, so it's a little bit more like youthful, and they make some trendy fun stuff. They make great festival pieces, and I know we're coming up on festival season. However, I don't think people seek it out. I think people, if they're like out shopping at a regular store and they see Mink Pink, they might buy it, but I don't think the the brand has such a huge cult following that people search for it on Poshmark, because again, I would just have a really cute mink pink stuff and it would sit. There was one really cool jacket I found recently that had like this huge fur collar, faux fur collar, and it was a tapestry design and it was beautiful. That sold in like a week, but that was an exception. Most mink pink stuff like I had this one dress for, I don't know, probably a year, and I could not give it away. I think I did offers super low and I still couldn't get rid of it, and I ended up selling it to like Plato's Closet or something like that because I couldn't look at it anymore. But yeah, mink pink, no. The next brand is actually more of the men's brand that I used to pick up, and it's Tommy Bahama. Tommy Bahama makes women's stuff as well, but I would pick up the silk Hawaiian shirts and sell those on Poshmark, and they used to do decent, but I think the market has become oversaturated and there's just too many listed. People are selling them really cheap, and I've just decided I'm no longer going to be picking up Tommy Bahama silk Hawaiian shirts. It's been a while. I probably haven't picked those up in like, I don't know, at least 8 months or so. I don't have any right now, but I don't even look at them anymore. Even though they're super expensive retail, it's just not worth it for me. Okay, the next brand is, I think, something that people either love selling or don't like selling, and I've tried it a couple times and it just has never really worked for me, and that brand is LuLaRoe. So LuLaRoe, you know, is one of those direct marketing, whatever they call it, brands that people have reps and they sell in these parties. And I think it went through this huge craze a couple years ago where everyone was trying to get their hands on it, and that stuff would sell super fast, especially certain prints. But more recently, it's like you can't give it away. Seriously, like I've tried to give it away and I can't. So I came across like a really good deal on, I think, 10 or 15 pieces of LuLaRoe like 6 months ago, and I bought them thinking I will try it again on Poshmark, and a couple pieces sold pretty quickly, but the rest of them I'd been sitting on, and I've been sending out offers to likers just trying to move them, and I think I have like 2 or 3 pieces left, and I don't even look at it anymore. I am not buying LuLaRoe. I don't even care if it's like a unicorn or a piece that people are seeking out. I am just not doing it. And then the next brand is another mall brand that I used to really like. I like their pieces a lot. I think they're pretty good quality and they're just really great basics. However, it doesn't sell very well, and that is Lou & Grey. So Lou & Grey is an offshoot or sister brand to The Loft, and they just make more like casual but kind of trendy pieces, mix and match basics. And I used to pick their stuff up quite frequently because I think people really liked the like materials and just the styles, and I would sell like pieces in bundles. I noticed a lot. So if someone was buying something and I had some Lou & Grey, they would usually like throw it in a bundle, but it was hard for me to sell on its own. And the last couple pieces that I had took a really long time to sell. So after that, I just decided I am no longer picking up Lou & Grey. Okay, the next brand I think some people also really like to sell, but for me, I just cannot sell it, and that is Theory. And Theory is so expensive retail, and a lot of it is more career style, so that style again doesn't really go with my closet. However, I think because there is just so much of it out there, Theory's been around for a really long time, a lot of the pieces look similar. I think there's a lot of competition, a lot of saturation in the market, so people sell it really cheap, and I feel like I just sat on it for a while, and again, just that style, it doesn't go, like that career look doesn't go with the more casual stuff that I post. But I did sell a Theory like waxed jacket that was really cool. It was a little bit more edgy, and that I sold in like probably a month, but I haven't seen anything like that recently, so most of the Theory I just pass on. And the last brand, brand number 15, actually is pretty similar to Theory in style, and that is Club Monaco. Club Monaco is another like mall brand. They have stores in the malls and all over the country, and it's definitely expensive, but I would say the designs are a little bit more simple. They might have a little twist on them. They do use amazing fabrics, and that's one of the things I liked about picking them up. You could get, you know, these great wool sweaters or cashmere, or, you know, just really nice quality pieces. And again, since it was so expensive retail, I felt like, you know, people might seek that out to purchase secondhand. But again, I was just sitting on those items way too long and didn't go with the rest of my stuff in my closet, so I have decided no longer to pick up Club Monaco, and it's been a while since I have even found that or, you know, thought about purchasing it, so that's just a brand that's like totally off my list. So again, let's recap the 15 brands I no longer buy to sell on Poshmark, and it is Tibby, Trina Turk, Millie, Miss Me Jeans, White House Black Market, Vineyard Vines, Kalia by Carrie Underwood, Altered State, Bowden, Mink Pink, Tommy Bahama, LuLaRoe, Lou and Grey, Theory, and Club Monaco. So again, just to reiterate, these are brands that are no longer working for me, no longer working in my Poshmark closet, but again, if they are working for you, I definitely say continue to sell them. I know there's people out there that are probably looking for it, but that's the nice thing about this business is every single person's is different, and what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me. So I think it's good to always try different things. Just like I've tried all these brands and I figured out they haven't worked for me, and who knows, like a year from now it could totally change, and you know, people might want to buy Miss Me again, and I need to start carrying Miss Me in my closet. So you just have to stay on the up and up with what people are seeking out and carry what they're looking for. So hopefully that was helpful for you to hear, you know, which brands I am no longer buying. Let me know down in the comments below if there's any brands that you no longer pick up, that there's anything that you are like, I'm done buying that, I bought it, it just sits for too long, because I'm always curious to see what other people say. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I would really appreciate it, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to my channel already and you want to know more about Poshmark. I have lots of reselling content and just all kinds of videos coming up, so I would love to have you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!